So I came across a very interesting news article that came out May 29th of this year. And the title says Florida allows doctors to perform C-sections outside of hospitals. And it's a strange read. Buckle in, get your favorite snack or water or drink or whatever because it's a few minutes long. I'm going to read the whole thing. So it says Florida has become the first state to allow doctors to perform cesarean sections outside of hospitals, siding with private equity owned physicians groups that say the change will lower costs and give pregnant women the homier birthing atmosphere that many desire. But the hospital industry and the nation's leading obstetricians association say that even though some Florida hospitals have closed their maternity wards in recent years, performing C-sections in doctor-run clinics will increase the risks for women and babies when complications arise. Quote, a pregnant patient that is considered low risk in one moment can suddenly need life-saving care in the next. Cole Greaves, an Orlando perinatologist who chairs the Florida chapter of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, said in an email to KFF Health News. The new birth clinics, even with increased regulation, cannot guarantee the level of safety patients would receive within a hospital. This spring, a law was enacted allowing advanced birthing centers where physicians can deliver babies vaginally or by C-section to women deemed at low risk of complications. Women would be able to stay overnight at the clinics. Women's Care Enterprises, a private equity-owned physicians group with locations mostly in Florida, along with California and Kentucky, lobbied the state legislature to make the change. BC Partners, a London based investment firm, bought Women's Care in 2020. We have patients who don't want to deliver in a hospital, and that breaks our heart, said Stephen Snow, who recently retired as an OBGYN. Brittany Miller, vice president of strategic initiatives with Women's Care, said the group would not comment on the issue. Health experts are leery. What this looks like is a poor substitute for quality obstetrical care effectively being billed as something that gives people more choices, said Alice Abernethy, an assistant professor. This feels like a bad band-aid on a chronic issue that will make outcomes worse rather than better. Nearly one-third of U.S. births occur via C-section. Generally, doctors use the procedure when they believe it is safer than vaginal delivery for the patient, the baby, or both. Such medical decisions can take place months before birth or in an emergency. Florida State Senator Gail Harrell, the Republican who sponsored the birth center bill, said having a C-section outside of a hospital may seem like a radical change, but so is the opening of outpatient surgery centers in the late 1980s. Harrell, who managed her husband's OBGYN practice, said birth centers will have to meet the same high standards for staffing, infection control, and other aspects as those at outpatient surgery centers. Given where we are with the need and the maternity deserts across the state, this is something that will help us and help moms get the best care, she said. 17 hospitals in the state have closed their maternity units since 2019, with many citing low insurance reimbursement and high malpractice costs. Mary Mayhew, CEO of Florida Hospital Association, said it is wrong to compare birth centers to ambulatory surgery centers because many risks associated with C-sections such as hemorrhaging. The Florida law requires advanced birth centers to have a transfer agreement with a hospital, but it does not dictate where the facilities can open nor their proximity to a hospital. We have serious concerns about the impact this model has on our collective efforts to improve maternal and infant health. Our hospitals do not see this in the best interest of providing quality and safety in labor and delivery. Despite its opposition to the new birth centers, the Florida Hospital Association did not fight passage of the bill because it also included a major increase in the amount Medicaid pays hospitals for maternity care. Mayhew said it is unlikely that the birth centers would help address care shortages. Hospitals are already struggling with a shortage of OB-GYNs, she said, and it is unrealistic to expect advanced birth centers to open in rural areas with a large portion of people on Medicaid, which pays the lowest reimbursement for labor and delivery care. According to Snow, the advanced birth center concept is an improvement on midwife care that enables deliveries outside of hospitals. Snow acknowledged that with a private equity firm invested in women's care, the birth center idea is also about making money. But he said hospitals have the same profit incentive and, like midwives, likely oppose the idea of centers that can provide C-sections because they could cut into hospital revenue. We are trying to reduce the cost of medicine, and this would be more cost effective and more pleasant for patients, he says. Kate Bayer, executive director of the American Association of Birth Centers, said patients could confuse advanced birth centers with the existing freestanding birth centers for low risk births that have been run by midwives for decades. There are currently 31 licensed birth centers in Florida and 411 freestanding birth centers in the United States, she said. This is a radical departure from the standard of care. It's a bad idea, she said, because it could increase risks to mom and baby. No other state allows C-sections outside of hospitals. The only facility that offers similar care is a birth center in Kansas, which is connected by a short walkway to a hospital. I'm going to stop it there, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think.
So, according to the article, 1/3 of all births in the US are delivered via C section, and advanced birthing centers wouldn't really be common in rural areas, which tend to have higher rates of poverty compared to urban areas. This is, of course, concerning because if these birthing centers don't meet the high standards found in hospitals in terms of sanitation, staffing, infection control, etc., it could literally put the lives of mothers and babies at risk. And so, with so many hospitals closing down their maternity units in Florida alone, while simultaneously eroding women's rights to prevent pregnancy or terminate unwanted pregnancies, it seems like many lower class women are going to be shoehorned into birthing centers with like little to no choice in the matter. And again, birthing centers in poorer areas may not be up to hospital standards, yet the government is going to allow these centers to operate. And we got to remember, like, whatever happens in one state tends to eventually spread to others. So it may be only a matter of time before birthing centers are common all over America. I did want to add, too, that, like, Black women typically have the worst pregnancy outcomes. And I read that the 10 top states with the most strict abortion laws contain some of the highest Black populations in the country. So, do what you will with that information. I don't want to fearmonger, of course. I'm just going off of what the concerned professionals in the article said and how they view these centers. They could be totally wrong, and these centers could turn out to be wonderful, high quality, safe, and convenient places for new mothers to have their babies. But there's always the question of, like, what if most of them are not up to hospital standards? What happens to those women? What happens to the mothers who don't get access to the most advanced centers if they suddenly become a high risk pregnancy or they don't get access to like a hospital? Why did the government feel the need to make birthing centers law? Is there another reason that we're not aware of? I don't know. I can't help but feel disturbed by this new law, and, just I have a lot of questions. And I can only imagine that it will only turn more and more women away from engaging in acts that would result in pregnancy right now. Whatever is going on, I highly doubt this is going to solve any population issues. I feel like it's just going to do the opposite, honestly. But anyway, let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this article. I just wanted to share it with you guys in case you haven't heard this news, because I haven't heard anyone talking about this personally. I'll leave the link for the article in the description. You can read it in its entirety. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and make sure to have a good day. I'll see you in the next one.